Good morning, students. Once again, I'm Sir CJ Luna, and today we will have estimating square roots and plotting irrational numbers on a number line. Okay? So, nung nakaraang video lesson natin, discuss natin yung pagkuha ng principal roots ng irrational numbers. Okay? So, yung lesson na yon ay applicable dito sa ating next na lesson. So, kailangan yun ay master nyo na. Okay? So, let's have now an example. Okay, so sa pag-estimate ng square roots ng mga irrational numbers, ibig sabihin they are not perfect square numbers, okay? Gagawin natin yung divide and average method, okay? So let's say we will estimate the square root of 6, okay? So step 1, we will estimate. So, gagawin natin yung ginawa natin doon sa pagkuha ng principal roots ng irrational numbers. Okay? So, we have square root of 6. Okay? Ano yung dalawang perfect square na nakapagitan yung 6? Okay, very good. Yung isa ay 9 at yung isa naman ay 4. Okay? So, ang square root of 6 ay nasa pagitan ng square root of 9 and square root of 4. This is less than and this is greater than 6. Okay? So, ngayon, extract natin yung kanilang mga roots. Ang square root ng 4 ay 2. At ang square root ng 9 ay 3. So, ibig sabihin, ang square root of 6 ay less than 2, ay greater than 2, but less than 3. So, nasa pagitan siya ng 2 and 3. So, decimal ito. Okay? So, yun ang step 1. Susunod na gagawin ay magdi-divide tayo. Okay? We will divide. Anong di-divide natin? I-divide mo yung number na given, yung given number, sa ating, isa sa mga roots natin. Okay? So, either 2 or 3. Pero let's just use 2. So, we will divide 6 by 2. Okay? So, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Subtract, we got 0. So, ayan. That is step number 2. Divide. Okay? Again, dinivide natin yung given number, yung 6, dun sa 2. Okay? Yung lower number natin, 2 and 3. So, kinuha natin yung 2. Okay? So, after nyan, step number 3, step 3, ang gagawin natin ay we will get the average. So, divide and average method tayo. Okay? So, we will get the average of the quotient that we got, yung 3, at saka yung 2. So, we have 3 plus 2 divided by 2. Okay? That is 5 divided by 2. So, what is 5 divided by 2? So, 5 divided by 2. Wait lang. So, 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, so meron pa tayong remainder. So, gagawin natin, magdagdag tayo ng decimal. So, we got 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So, 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, ang average ng nakuha natin ay 2.5. Okay? So, ayan, malapit na nating makuha yung estimated square root ng square root of 6. Okay? Ng 6, okay? So, ngayon, step 4, ang gagawin natin, uulitin lang natin yung ginawa natin sa step 2 at step 3. Okay, again, para sa step 4, we will just repeat step 2 and step 3. So again, we will divide and get the average. So we will divide 6, yung ating given, by 2.5. Okay? So burahin ko muna to. So step 4 na tayo. Step 4, divide 6 by 2.5. Okay, yung 6, ito yung given natin. Yung 2.5, ito yung nakuha nating average kanina. Okay, so we have a decimal. So move natin yung decimal point ng 1 place. So dito niyan, we will also add a decimal place. Okay, so we got now 60 divided by 25, and that is 2. And then 2 times 25 is 50. Okay, so 60 minus 50 is equal to 10. Okay, so meron pa tayong remainder. Mag-add tayo ng 0. So 100 divided by 25 is equal to 4. 4 times 25 is equal to 100. 100 minus 100 is equal to 0. Okay? So now, our quotient is 2.4. Basta tandaan nyo, dito sa ginagawa nating estimation, hindi pwedeng gumamit ng calculator. So, kaya ang ginagawa natin ay nagmamanual tayo ng computation. Okay? So, next step, we will get the average. So, step 5. Average tayo ulit, kamukha nung kanina. So, ang kukunin nating average ngayon, yung nakuha nating quotient at yung nakuha nating average kanina. Okay? So, magkakaroon tayo ngayon ng 2.4 plus 2.5 divided by 2. 2.4 plus 2.5 is equal to 4.9 divided by 2. Okay? So, we now have 4.9 divided by 2. So, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. And then we have 9. Decimal point. 9 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. And then we will add 0. 10 divided by 5, 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, ang nakuha natin ngayon ay 2.45. Ibig sabihin, ang square root ng 6 ay equal sa 2.45. Yan ang kanyang estimated square root. Okay? The square root of 6 is equal to 2.45. This is already in the nearest hundreds. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple. Recap natin. No? Step 1, we will estimate. Step 2, divide. Step 3, get the average. And then step 4, divide ulit. And step 5, average. So, check natin sa calculator. Okay? So, we have the square root of 6 is equal to, ayan, 2.4494 and so on. Okay? So, kung yan ay to the nearest hundreds, this will be equal to 2.45. Okay? So, gagamitin lang yung calculator para ma-check kung tama nga yung nakuha mong estimated square root. Okay po? Sige, let's have another example. Okay, so this time we will estimate the square root of 45. So step 1, estimate square root of 45. Okay? So, ang square root of 45 ay nakapagitan siya sa dalawang perfect square na 36 at 49. Okay? So, kukunat ngayon kanilang principal root. Ang principal root ng 36 ay 6 at ang 49 naman ay 7. So, square root of 45 is greater than 6 but less than 7. So, nasa pagitan siya ng 6 at 7. Next, step 2, magdi-divide tayo. Divide natin yung given number by 6. So, we have 45 divided by 6. So, that is 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Subtract. 45 minus 42 is 3. So, meron pa tayong remainder na 3. So, we will add decimal place, 0. Okay, so we have now 30 divided by 6, that is 5. 5 times 6 is equal to 30. And 30 minus 30 is equal to 0. So now the quotient is 7.5. Next, step 3, we will get the average. The average of 7.5 and 6. So, divided by 2. Okay, so ito yan. Yung 7.5 tsaka yung 6. Okay, so 7.5 plus 6 is equal to 13.5 divided by 2. So, solve natin ulit manually. We have 13.5 divided by 2. So, 13 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bring down 5. So, we have 15 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. And 15 minus 14 is equal to 1. So, we still have a remainder of 1. Magdagdag tayo ng 0. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10. Now we have 0 denominator. Okay? So, the average of 7.5 and 6 is equal to 6.75. Okay? So, after step 3, babalik tayo ulit sa division. Mag-divide tayo ulit and then get the average. So, i-divide natin yung i-divide natin yung 45 by 6.75. Okay? So, let's erase this now. 45, 6.75. Step 4. Divide. 45 divided by 6.75. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang decimal place. So, mag-move tayo ng dalawa din. Okay, so ngayon we have 4,500 divided by 675. So, we have 6. 6 times 5 is 30. So, carry 3. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus 3 is 45. So, we will write 5 carry 4. 6 times 6 is 36. Plus 4 is 40. Okay, so we have now 4,050. Now we will get the difference. This is 0. And we got 5, 4. 450. Okay? So, 450 divided by 675, hindi pwede. So, magdagdag tayo ngayon ng 0 sa ones place. Okay? So, we have decimal point. So, 4,500 tayo. So, 4,500 divided by 675 is equal to 6. So, kamukha lang siya ng kanina. Okay? So, we have 4,050. So, subtract. We got 0, 5, 4. So, again, we will add 0 at babalik tayo ulit doon. Okay? So, meron tayo ulit 6. So, kung napansin nyo, paulit-ulit na lang siya. Okay? So, 450 pa rin ito. So, umuulit na lang yung digit na 6. So, mag-stop na lang tayo doon. Okay? So, since meron na tayong hundreds place. So, we will now move on to step 5, which is, we will get the average. So, we will get the average of 6.66 and 6.75. Okay? So, 6.66 plus 6.75 divided by 2 is equal to, so we got 6 plus 5 is 11, carry 1, 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 1, 14, carry 1, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we have 13.41 divided by 2. So we will get now the average of 13.41. We will get the difference, the quotient of this. Ayan, so we have 13 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bring down 4. Okay, so 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. So we have 0. Bring down 1. 1 divided by 2 is 0. Okay, so we have 0 times 2 is 0. So we have 1. So we will add 0 dito. Magdagdag tayo ng 0. So we have now 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So 10 minus 10 is 0. Okay? So we have the average 6.705. At dahil mag-estimate tayo to the nearest hundreds, ayan, so ito nyan ay 5, wait lang, 0, 5, so to the nearest hundreds tayo, at ito ay 5, ibig sabihin mag-add tayo ng 1, plus 1, okay, so the square root of 45 is approximately 6.71. Okay, so let's check. Let's get our calculator and get the square root of 45. So the square root of 45 is equal to, ayan, 6.7082039332. So pag yan ay to the nearest hundreds, 6.71. Okay, so tama yung ating estimation. Ayan, so let's have another example. Last example tayo. Let's get the square root of 110. Okay, so step 1, estimate square root of 110. Okay, so square root of 110 is between the square root of 100 and square root of 121. So this is 10 and the square root of 121 is 11. So the square root of 110 is greater than 10 but less than 11. Okay? So step 2. Divide 110 by 10. Okay? So 11 divided by 10 is 1. So 1 times 10 is 10. So subtract. We have 1, then bring down 0. 10 times 10 is 1. So 1 times 10 is 10. So that is 0. Okay? So 110 divided by 10 is equal to 11. So next is, we will get the average. So the average of 11 and 10. So we have 21 divided by 2. 21 divided by 2 is equal to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down 1. 1 divided by 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So we have 1. Bring down, let's add 0. Mag-add tayo ng 0 dito. So we have 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So we have now 0 denominator. Okay? So we have the average 10.5. Ayan. So ngayon, magdi-divide tayo ulit. I-divide natin yung ating given na 110 by 10.5. So step 4. Divide. 110 divided by 10.5. So we will move one decimal place. Ayan. So we have now 100, 5, and 1,100. So 1,100, dito muna tayo sa 110. Okay? So 110 divided by 105 is equal to 1. So 1 times 105, of course, 105. So get the difference, we have 5. So bring down 0. So 50 divided by 105 is 0. So magdagdag na lang tayo dito ng 0. Okay? So we now have 500. 500 divided by 105 we have 4. Okay? So 4 times 105 is equal to this is 20 and then 4, so 420. So subtract, we have 0 and then 8, so 80. And then let's put 0. 800 divided by 105, 7. 7 times 105, we got 7 times 5 is 35, so we have 735. Subtract, we got 650. So let's add 0, 650. So 650 divided by 105 is 6. So 6 times 105, 6 times 5 is 30. And then 6 times 1, okay, 630. So meron pa rin tayong denominator na 20. Okay, so stop na tayo since meron na tayong 10.476. So gawin natin yan, round off na natin to the nearest 100. So we have 10.48. Okay, so step 5, we will get the average. The average of 10.48 and 10.5. Okay, so 10.48 plus 10.5 divided by 2. 10.48 plus 10.5 is 10.49. Ay, 10 point, we got 8. Okay, 10.98. Okay, so 10.98 divided by 2. Um, this should be 20. I'm sorry. So this is 20.98. Is it correct? So we have 8, 9, okay, 20.98. Okay, so 20.98 divided by 2, we have 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So we have 0, 0. So we have 0 here, and then bring down 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4. And then we have 4 times 2 is 8. So this is now 1. Bring down 8. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Okay, so we got 0 denominator. So the square root of 110 is approximately 10.49. That's our answer. Okay, so let's check if our estimated square root is correct. Let's get our calculator. So we have the square root of 110. Yan. To the nearest hundreds is 10.49. So, yan. Tama tayo. Okay? So, ganun lang ang pag-estimate ng square roots kapag ang ating given ay irrational number. Ibig sabihin, non-perfect square numbers. Okay? So, I hope naintindihan nyo na or nag-gets nyo kung paano mag-estimate ng mga square roots. Okay, so ngayon naman, ipa-plot natin yung mga estimated square root ng mga irrational numbers na nakuha natin kanina. Okay? So, unahin natin yung square root of 6. At nalaman natin na ito ay approximately 2.45. Okay? At yan ay nasa pagitan ng 2 and 3. Diba? Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. So, nasa pagitan siya ng 2 and 3. So, ngayon gagawa tayo ng number line. So, this is our number line. Let's say this is negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, yan ay yung square root ng 6 ay nasa pagitan ng 2 and 3. So, nandito siya. Nandito yung square root of 6. Okay? At ang gitna niyan ay 2.5. Tama ba? Kalahati ng 2 at 3 ay 2.5. At ang square root ng 6 ay approximately 2.45. Ibig sabihin, nandito, before ng 2.5, ang square root ng 6. Okay, i-move lang natin ng konti. So, this is now square root of 6. That is the location. Okay? So, ganun lang ang pag-approximate ng location ng mga irrational numbers. Okay? So, let's have the second one. Yung square root ng 45. At yan ay approximately 6.71. Okay? At ang square root ng 45 ay nasa pagitan ng 6 at 7. Okay? So, ngayon gagawa tayo ng number line. Ayan. So, this is our number line and let's put some numbers. Let's say this is negative 1. Let's say this is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ayan. So, ang square root ng 45 ay nandito. sa pagitan ng 6 and 7. At ang gitna niyan ay ito, 6.5. At ang kalahati ulit dito, ito naman ay 6.75. Diba? Yung 3/4. Okay? So, ngayon, 6.71, i-move lang natin ng konting-konti. So, nandito yung square root ng 45. Okay? So, ganun lang ang pag-locate. And last one, yung ating square root of 110. Yan ay approximately 10.49. So, yan ay nasa pagitan ng 10 and 11. Okay? So, ganun ulit. Gagawa tayo ng number line. And we will approximate the location. Let's say this is 11, 12, this is 10, 9, 8, 7. Ayan. So, ang square root ng 110 ay nandito. Andyan. Between 10 and 11. And this is half of 10 and 11, 10.5. So, ito ay 10.49. Malapit na siya sa 10.5. So, ang location ng square root of 110 ay nandun. Okay? So, ganun lang siya kadali. Okay po? So, sana ay okay na. Clear na sa inyo. Alam nyo na kung paano mag-estimate ng square root. At alam nyo na rin kung paano mag-locate ng kanyang location sa number line. Okay? So, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you again next time.